Alex, I attended the media sessions, all the politics.
Okay. Director of Arts and Culture.
Okay.
That side. Check his name. I forgot.
How far is she? Sarkada. Oh, so the earlier message was you were managing me. So the earlier message said she's on her way.
And then it's Director of Art and Culture. Good morning, Executive Mayor, Councillor Dada Morero. Good morning to the Director of Arts and Culture in the city, Mr. Vusile Mashutulu. Good morning to Mr. Temba Matibe, CEO of the JDA, the youngest in the country. Good morning to Mr. Shane Maja, who's the member of the JAG committee. Good morning to the members of the media. Thank you for joining us this morning for this very crucial briefing. I think a lot has been said with regards to the Johannesburg Art Gallery, with reports saying the art has been stolen, the art has been sold. So we thought it's crucial to have this briefing so that we can explain to you in detail where we are with regards to the restoration of the Johannesburg Art Gallery. So without wasting time, the Executive Mayor will come to the podium and give a comprehensive statement with regards to where we are with the restoration of the Johannesburg Art Gallery. Executive Mayor.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, members of the media, residents of Johannesburg. We are here today to provide a progress update on the restoration of the Johannesburg Arts Gallery to the members of the media and the residents of the city of Johannesburg. I think it needs the guy to come set it up. We can give him a second. Otherwise, it's going to fall. Naibatla monga yona. E tla tlo etsa ntate. Re tla o emela. No what?
Okay, that's fine.
Oh, okay. They've made a plan. As I was saying, we're here to give progress update and the Johannesburg pieces. However, it plays an essential role in preserving the and heritage of Johannesburg. In recent months, we've made significant strides in both restoring and spearheaded This efforts by bringing on board a skilled heritage specialist, structural assessments, paving the way for a well-planned restoration process. We are excited also to report that the Provincial Heritage Resource Authority necessary structural interventions in the restoration project. We have also secured all at the Johannesburg City Library, the Museum Africa, where we are, and the Brixton multi-purpose facilities that will help us to store the collection whilst the project to restore the arts gallery is under environmental and security standards, which are actually essential for housing. We are collaborating closely with the South African Heritage Resource Agency to ensure that our temporary running will invite stakeholders to evaluate them, public confidence in the preservation of the collection. We aim to keep JAC active during the restoration by continuing exhibitions, public programs, and educational activities around the city. Comprising essential books and journals will be available at the Johannesburg City Library, ensuring that we do encourage ensuring that engagement with the gallery spirit continues even during repairs. Additionally, we have partnered with the Standard Bank to unveil special exhibition featuring 145 artworks recently returned safely from South Korea. These pieces have undergone thorough inspection and verification, and this exhibition will coincide with the upcoming G20 summit, offering a prime opportunity to showcase Johannesburg's rich cultural heritage on an international platform. I also had the privilege of meeting with the French ambassador to discuss potential collaboration with the city of Johannesburg. I've been informed that the French government, under President Macron's leadership, has also expressed interest in attending our exhibition and supporting our restoration efforts. On the governance front, we have sharpened oversight in line with the deed of donation. The Art Gallery Committee, consisting of representatives from both the national government and civil society, is now operating effectively. Their first meeting took place on the 23rd of October, 2025, during which they approved the city's relocation and refurbishment plan of the JAC. We are also revisiting our partnership with the Anglo-American Johannesburg Centenary Trust to rejuvenate the city's trustee membership, promoting closer collaboration and increased support in line with our donation policies. Lastly, we are organizing a major seminar to gather academics, art practitioners, heritage experts, architects, friends of the JAC, Johannesburg Heritage Foundation, and other stakeholders. This initiative will help us collaboratively shape a sustainable long-term vision for the gallery. The Johannesburg Art Gallery is a cornerstone of our city's identity. Its restoration signifies our dedication to preserving our cultural heritage for future generations. We owe this to those who paved the way for us, those who continue to establish the foundations of our culture, and those who keep reimagining it. We are grateful to our partners, institutions, residents, friends of the JAC for their contributions to this vital endeavor. Together we strive to restore JAC as Johannesburg's foremost art institution, a lasting symbol of heritage, creativity, and community pride. We invite dignitaries, private sector representatives, government stakeholders, and G20 delegates to come and experience the cultural offerings our city has to offer. I'd like to thank you, and you know that tomorrow we will be hosting, even on Sunday, we likely on Sunday to have the President Macron visiting us to see what is it that Johannesburg can offer. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Executive Mayor. I'm going to open the floor for questions. You can just introduce yourself and which media house you are from and to whom your question is directed to. Thank you.
Thanks, Katu. Thanks very much, Katu. My name's Julieta Televi. I'm one of the editors and founders of Currency News. My question is to Mr. Morero. So, firstly, what's happening with the inventory of the collection? Will it be done independently before any move? Has any art been moved already, and is it already at Museum Africa? You talk about security. Museum Africa has been broken into before. It's had leaks. It's not been a great place to store highly valuable anything. So what assurances can you give that it will be a safe, secure place to store highly valuable works of art which need to be stored at a constant temperature of 18 degrees Celsius, for example? I have other questions, but I'll not hog the mic. Thank you.
Alex Patrick from News 24. My question was very similar in terms of the safety of the art. I'm just thinking as well, temperature-wise. I'm thinking of the Brixton multi-purpose centre. Is that a good place to store this artwork? We also wanted to know the copper roofing removed off the Mayor Pienaar extension. Has that been replaced? What happened? It's a lot of copper. And has the city entered into a partnership with civil society? I also have more questions, but I won't hog the mic. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Naledi Mashishi. I'm from Daily Mav. I just wanted to, I don't know if you said it before, but could you please just repeat the time frame of the drag opening? Because, yeah, is it 5 years or is it a year that is projected to reopen? And yeah, that's all. That's all I have now.
Executive Mayor?
There's too many technical questions.
I think the CEO can assist.
I'll leave those ones to Vuisile and Themba. But on when we want to conclude with the project of restoration, our target is 2027. We're hoping by that time would have delivered a fully fledged arts gallery. Our ambitious program is concluding by at least July 2027. Am I right, Themba? To ensure that we have delivered it. But what has also come forward, the transport department of the city is also doing a development next to Joburg Park and the Arts Gallery to renew the taxi rank next to it, which is another 4-year project that will contribute in changing the face of the entire precinct around the Arts Gallery and Joubert Park. We will ensure proper safety of the arts, the same way we have ensured it as they were sitting there by Johannesburg Art Gallery. They will not be stolen. No one will break into the Museum Africa. No one will break at our Brixton multi-purpose center. And of course, the experts all what is required where you store it is at the right level. On the city side, we'll ensure that the security is proper. And I guess we will not put them where we know that structurally we do have some challenges there and there of leaks, but we'll ensure that they're in a safer place. I am told by the executives here that once we conclude the brief, we'll also be taking you along so that you could see where are we storing this art. We have worked with civil society, Alex, and you can see in the brief we have already set up the committee. It's proper. We had our meeting on the 20th. So joined us. So there's a good indication that we're working together. The friends of Jack are also working well with us. We had expected them that will also be here this morning to join. Probably they have other commitments. No, they were invited because we thought we even invited, but she couldn't make it. The Heritage Foundation floor bed, but probably she could not make it today. So we're ensuring that we work with as many stakeholders as possible to ensure that everybody participates and own this process. It's not just a city process. Residents of Johannesburg must own this process, and that's what we are doing. So civil society is fully participating, and we're excited that in the first meeting we also adopted some guiding document that is going to guide us on how we work, including a timetable of meetings was also adopted, and the mayor was sharing the session as required by the deeds. So everything is going well. We're also interacting very well with the Anglo-American trustee. We are interacting even at the level of the mayor's office to ensure that we streamline their contribution and their participation towards the art. And I think we must be excited that the president of France will also be here to see what we have, which is a good thing as part of our legacy program in relation to the G20 and beyond the G20. I think Temba and them, you can then deal with the more technical questions. That one requires them, yeah. That's why I said they will deal with those.
Good morning to the Executive Mayor of the City of Johannesburg, Councillor Dada Morero. Good morning to our MMC, who's the acting MMC for Community Development, Councillor Zungu. Good morning to the colleagues, and good morning to the members of the AGC, Mr. Shane Maja, who represents them here. So I just want to clarify in terms of the aspects of how we then took the project. So we broke the project up into 4 phases, which phase 1 was the planning and the restoration, which the mayor was referring to. Phase 2 was then talking about the preparations of the relocation sites. Then phase 3 of the project was talking to the actual digitalization and the inventory. And phase 4 was then talking to the business case in terms of how do we then make sure that JAG operates and JAG increases its visitor experience and we make it the center of tourism within the city of Johannesburg and being a cultural precinct. So what we've then done, the issue of the inventory and the collection before we actually move the collection. So the art is then labeled and marked from each and every storage site that is there in terms of the JAG currently. It will then be marked and numbered from one side, and then when we get to the other side, it will then, again, you will then count that collection based on the numbers that were then issued on it. What we've then done from a precautionary measure perspective, we've then included group internal audit and risk assurance teams to then actually check how many pieces of art left the JAG and how many pieces will then be brought on the other side, and there's those return slips that need to be signed for all of the parts of the collection. But over and above that, what we've then done also from a risk point of view and an audit point of view and an inventory point of view is that over and above this, once the project is done, we're going to undertake the collection through a valuation process of the collection itself and actually make sure that we have the correct figures in terms of what is the value of the collection. So it's part and parcel of a project that is coming at a later phase. But at this current phase of moving, we have then also then set up teams, and the teams will then comprise of SARA, it will comprise of members of the AGC, it will comprise of the group assurance and independent or internal audit of the city to provide assurance. And over and above that, we've then even have been having engagements with the AGSA around how they can potentially get involved as Auditor General of South Africa in the project. Then on the issue of has there been any art been moved, there's no collection that has been moved from the JAG. And the reason why we had not moved the collection was because of, in light of the AGC resolutions, was that you must brief the members of the public first, and secondly, you must provide confidence and assurance around the issue of the relocation sites. And the relocation sites, I must clarify, at Brixton Multipurpose Center, there is a gallery that the city had already planned to build. It's currently under construction. So it's not inside the multipurpose center. The mayor is not closing down the multipurpose center. The multipurpose center will still run, but there is a gallery space that was already built that already meets the necessary requirements. Then on the issue of the security measures that are undertaken, over and above us working with external security, with our JMPD security team, security assessments were done on all 3 sites the way we're relocating the art to. And also even the collection that we're moving from Korea back into the city's hands, we actually worked and collaborated with provincial police, which is SEPS, JMPD, and we also had an additional security that then escorted the art during its move. So all the processes of us moving, there is a security plan, and that security plan would have loved to share it publicly, but it's also not, it's not a good thing to do because it's a risk. But there is a fully fledged security team and a detailed security plan that has been interrogated extensively by our chief of police as well as with provincial police, the provincial police commissioner's office in regards to the relocation of those artworks. But I think also what is very important is to highlight that when we were moving the collection, there's 5 aspects and things that we looked into. And the members of the AGC correctly advised us also. The company that is going to be moving the collection, it's a known collection company, which is Fine Arts Logistics Company, that met the minimum requirements and standards that we required. From the vans meeting the necessary packaging. Secondly, also, we looked at the sites where we're moving them to. Do they meet the necessary HVAC and conditions that are required? Do they meet the fire protection requirements that are required? Also, do we have insurance? And our insurance brokers then came and did an assessment. So I can confirm to the members of the media, insurance has already come forward to actually check the sites and make sure that do we meet the necessary standards, including Standard Bank itself. The reason why we delayed with the exhibition was because of we needed to make sure that there's insurance and they meet the necessary security assessments and requirements that would have then set out. So I can rest assure you that from a security aspect point of view and from a museum and art storage standards point of view, all our facilities meet that standard. And how we know that is that we even engage with SARA. And when we engage with SARA on, which is the regulatory body that deals with Section 32 art or heritage collections, they actually were happy with our plans and they were actually very impressed with what we wanted to do. And I think it's no secret that JCL recently underwent a refurbishment and a restoration. It meets all the necessary requirements from an HVAC perspective. You will see here as well at Museum Africa, it now meets all those necessary requirements. On the issue of the security aspect of Museum Africa, and it's something that has always been there in the public that someone jumped in and all of that, the roof is leaking. All of that has been fixed. And we've made sure that it's done, and you will see, we're going to show you the site extensively in terms of the drywalling that has been done, the art racks that we're going to be utilizing, that the art will not be stored and stamped as if it's just artwork, but it will be stored properly. There'll be a conservation process, a room that we're going to show you, the electricity, the lighting that we needed to put in. So I can confirm to you that those requirements have been done. Then on the Mere PNR building, the copper roof and items, it's what the Executive Mayor was referring to, that we actually have a heritage consultant on the project. Because of that, discussion is quite extensive and it requires heritage approval. So that is why we then needed to submit a first application to Prague to then allow us to do detailed investigations on whether do we remove the copper roof and what do we exchange it to? How do we make sure that we still preserve the heritage and of that design? So those investigations are underway, and I can confirm also to the members of the media that we actually have a good working relationship with the Joburg Heritage Foundation and the multi-party stakeholders who are then contributing to what the development plan and the preservation plan of the JAG is going to be like. The executive mayor did produce a video through his pages where he showed that the theme is clear. We must protect, preserve the heritage of those buildings. Where those zincs that were done incorrectly and the roof sheets, whether they should be moved or not, we will share the details of that once the heritage discussions have been concluded. Because once we're done, the developmental heritage plan will then be submitted to Prague. Then Prague will then give us approval, and then we'll share those approvals with yourselves to then give you assurance in terms of what's going to be happening there. Then on the partnership component, also to add, there is a presidential working group, which then comprises of the Friends of JAG, Heritage Foundation, national officials, SARA, and everyone. We are reporting to that body and that structure, and they've been instrumental in making sure that we work well with them. And correctly put, the Office of the Executive Mayor is the convener in line with the donation of deed. And the members of the AGC, everyone has been briefed in terms of what is happening and where we are. But the parties that were never briefed was the Fourth Estate, which is yourselves, in terms of where are we since the last time we released the statement and the progress that we are going to be dealing with. So I also want to give you assurance from a temperature level point of view, all the facilities will meet the HVAC standards. And we do know what those standards are supposed to be like. And we also have made sure that in terms of the security numbers and the beefing that we need to do, how is that going to be done? But the most important part of it is that, Alex, we cannot tell anyone or the members of the public that a Picasso will be sitting at JCL or a Stitch will be sitting at Museum Africa. We'll then be placing the art at risk. So that's why we've then taken a posture that the collection itself will not release the names of where the collection is sitting and who's moving the collection where. So we have an inventory, we've numbered it, and we've done it in that manner because of when you number it and you don't have the coding, using unique codes, it then works better for us because of then it also protects the collection. But even you'll see with the art racks as well, when we show you right now, the art will not be stacked on the floor and all of that because of, remember, over and above this collection moving, there's a combustion process that we need to do on conserving the art and clearing it. And we need to use CO2 to do that process. And we cannot just choose any building to do so. So Museum Africa was strategic and it had sufficient space. But the thinking for us as the city of Johannesburg is that this art storage is not a temporary thing, but it's a thing that we can utilize it even for other further developments. When you're developing the Metro Center, for example, the art, when it's moved out of there, it then needs to be put in a storage. So we do need the storage. And if you know the reasons why the Centenary Trust was not funding the JAG anymore, was squarely on the basis that they were saying, we can't buy new art because we don't have sufficient storage space. So we then needed to build that additional capacity for the Centenary Trust to be able to give us support. And that I can confirm because when we met with the colleagues from the Centenary Trust, Stephen Sachs and them, they said to us, we can fund you to buy a new collection, but you don't have a place to store the collection at. So you must show us that you have the capacity to do so. Thank you.
Thank you, CEO. Last round of questions.
Thanks. So firstly, as I understand it, the Anglo-American Johannesburg Centenary Trust did not want to fund the gallery because they were so worried about the condition in which the art was being kept. So it had nothing to do with a lack of storage. It was the condition of the gallery. But perhaps I'd be interested to get your side of the story. What actually happened to the copper that was removed from the Meyer Pino extension? What happened to the copper roofs? Because that was valuable copper. Where did it go? Perhaps Mr. Mshidulu wants to answer. Just, it's taken a very long time for us to get any answers out of the city with regards to an inventory. I sent you tons of questions last year in September, October, and I was blocked at every turn. So why has it taken so long to get an inventory together? And why were you so obstructive last year when I asked you why there wasn't an inventory for the collection? And then the last question I have is it not a lost cause to be working on the gallery? Because it is in a very grim precinct. I mean, so you talk about the taxi rank. It's not a part of the city that many people want to go to anymore. So is it not maybe a better idea to actually move the gallery to a better part of the city. And sorry, I've got a question for Mr. Maja. You have been appointed the CEO of the Joburg Theatre Company, or State Theatre, sorry. Does that mean that you have to forfeit your place on the Art Gallery committee? And then who from the city will take your board seat? Thanks.
Thank you so much. Alex again. Oh, do you want to? Okay. Yeah, so my queries are kind of the same. I mean, I understand you guys are going to say that you can't give us the inventory, but Friends of JAG, can they maybe see the inventory? Are you sharing that with them? Some of the art needed fixing. What's going to happen with that art? Have you got a plan for fixing, and who's fixing it? And then I'm just thinking, I mean, South Korea, 500,000 people saw our artworks. That's a lot of people paying for entries to museums. Did we see any of that cash? Are we thinking, maybe we can host some exhibitions in these new exhibition spaces? Is there some kind of thinking on how we can monetize our assets? Thank you.
Thank you, Alex. Executive Mayor.
And I thought I should just deal with the decisions we've made to rejuvenate the inner city of Johannesburg. It's an important part of the work that the city has decided to do. And you'd know that even Transnet has also taken a view that we must revitalize the CBD of Johannesburg. Transnet is keeping its asset, repurposing some of its assets. The city is doing the same. We are not leaving the inner city. Now we've taken a view that in fact that entire precinct running right up to the Gautrain station, where you also have the head office of PRASA, we are going to work with partners to refurbish and revitalize the entire precinct. We are currently working with IDC, we are working with other partners to raise capital to change the entire precinct. Our transport department is also working with National Transport and other partners so that the entire precinct changes. That is why there's work now being done to reclaim the city of Joburg. You go north, you go to De Villiers Street, to Wanderers, Plain, you'll see that there's a concerted effort to reclaim the inner city of Johannesburg. The same way we did with the Ellis Park precinct, revitalize so that we ensure that we can attract people coming back. And in fact, once we're done with the construction, I'm definitely sure it will be an exciting period for Joburgers, that once again, Johannesburg is becoming alive again. And that's what these people of the city wants to see. And so we are doing that part of work. It will complement a number of precincts. We're also excited that FNB, APSA are still saying we will stay and we'll keep our assets here. So it's an important program that we are doing. But once we were to say we are relocating as the city, it would have then given a very bad message that we ourselves, as government of the city, have declared no confidence on our own city. So it can't be that we declare a motion of no confidence against ourselves. So the ability to refurbish and change the inner city, it's very important. We have debated this, including with the friends of JAG. We have debated it in our committee. We have debated it in the mayoral committee, including in council, and we have agreed it forms part of the broader revitalization, including the Joubert Park. So that plan that Themba will unveil to you covers and includes the park itself. So we want to do something that, what English people do when they speak, state of the art. And that's what we're going to do. The copper is safe. JDA had done the move and storage of the copper. Will ensure, because we don't want to lose any of the heritage, I can't say things, there's this English. Timber? Assets, to ensure that we can restore everything that needs to be restored, because I suppose the what do you call those provincial people, Maja, Prague, they are also monitoring us that we are doing the right things to keep things. I wanted to deal with the political environment in which we think we want the arts gallery to remain. There's a whole lot of things that we are rejuvenating. And someday, Alex, we must take you to some of the precincts that we are beginning to change and start appreciating that indeed there's a change in the inner city.
Greetings to everyone, including greetings to the Executive Mayor and the MMC. So the two questions that were raised around the inventory. So as the city, we've always responded in the manner that the inventory of the JAG needs to be safeguarded in as much as we have a responsibility towards the security of those objects. And we have seen, some instances where objects of the or aspects of the inventory of the city have been publicized, and this places the collection in jeopardy. So, and it is for that reason that even our response has been consistent towards currency. It's not a true reflection that we have not responded. We have indicated that for security reasons, we don't publish the JAG inventory. And it is for that reason that the CEO has outlined the methodology that we are following in terms of the relocation of the objects, that we are giving them unique codes so that we also protect the sites where the valuable art will be stored. And then in terms of the monetization of the collection, the executive may supported by the position of the mayoral committee that the JAG is a very important public institution, and sacrosanct to its existence must be its existence as a public. We need to rethink the model in terms of how do we reposition the revenue generating capacity of the institution. It is for that reason that the CEO spoke about. One of the things that we are doing is to generate a business case. And this business case is also about how we position the JAG as a revenue-generating entity. And this will look at a number of things that we will explore in great detail during the reimagination seminar of the JAG, where we will tease out the ideas that exist. We also have our own ideas, but we would like to hear from the public how they perceive the reimagination of the JAG, including its ability to generate revenue as a public institution and not a privatized one. Thank you.
Good morning once more. I'll just address the issue of the artwork that was actually damaged, that needed to be restored. We are currently on tender. If not yesterday, today, the tender has gone out publicly in line with the SAM policies of the JDA, where we are looking for a competent team of people that can then restore that collection. And I know, Alex, the last time they accused me of actually running the tender internally and not externally. The tender is out externally. It was not you, but I know you asked me about it. So I must share that it's important that that has been done. Then I want to address the issue of the appointment of Mr. Shane Maja. And the reason why I want to address that appointment is that the donation of deed is clear. It says National must appoint a representative into the AGC. National, which is the DG and the powers vested in her, in consultation with the minister, then appointed Shane Maja as a representative into the AGC. Whether he's CEO, whether he's chief director, it's their prerogative because it's their seat that they would then appoint. Similarly, if the executive mayor, this executive mayor that's sitting here is the first executive mayor in the last 10 years to convene an HEC meeting himself.
I was the first.
Yes, the first. So, in the previous years, it has never happened that an executive mayor convenes an AGC meeting. And I think the executive mayor was being conservative. The AGC meeting didn't only sit once. We sat about 4 times this year because we're trying to clear out issues and clear out the problems. But I then also want to address, over and above that, I want to address the issue of the relationship and partnership that everyone keeps asking about. There is no issues. Previously, yes, there were issues. But us from our side as the city and us as an implementing agent and based on the mandate the executive mayor gave us, he said work with everyone, bring everyone on board on the process. But lastly, I want to address the issue of the precinct. There is no way that we can turn against North and Jag and Joubert Park if you want to turn around the city. Everyone would have believed that Lilian Ngoyi can never be fixed, but today Lilian Ngoyi is considered one of the cleanest and one of the best streets. Whether others can debate and say they want a tar road and all of that, which we can differ with because in Rosebank, it's paving bricks similarly to Lilian Ngoyi, but no one is complaining. But because of it's done by this executive mayor, there's a complaint. And today, I was laughing at them because all public environmental upgrades we've done as the JDA, it has always been paving bricks. And there's a science behind that from an engineering perspective. But my point is this, Joubert Park, you can go there now. We've already started cleaning it up. We're already starting to reclaim that space. And there is no way we can leave where there's the biggest interlocking gridlock from a traffic perspective, which is Joubert Park, Jag, and MTN Rank, just to and say we are giving up and we're throwing our hands in the air. That's why when the mayor addressed now, he said he did a traffic impact study. There's no traffic inside Joburg Art Gallery, but there's traffic around it. For us to pull back all those visitors to come in, we needed to then make some changes in terms of how do we then, where do we have our entrances, where do the taxis park, what type of changes do we then bring to actually widen the road in that area. So what we've then done, and to give you assurance, we are dealing with that precinct. We've engaged the taxi industry, we have their full support. We've engaged with the informal traders, we have their full support. So every single party that needed to be engaged has been engaged. And on the issue of the Centenary Trust, I think let's not debate the issue of funding or not. Let's debate the issue of, is the Centenary Trust on board? Centenary Trust is on board now. Let's look forward to what we need to do. And we also invite even the members of the media executive mayor from our side as the JDA representing the city that give us your contributions. Alex, those contributions in terms of how can we monetize the JAG. There's a seminar. Come in and contribute. Currency, come in. Tell us what is it that, guys, you're not seeing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perhaps we can then improve here. Because that's the whole purpose. The purpose of the city is that we are not saying we're the only experts. Yes, we have experts, but we are saying Friends of JAG, come on board. Heritage Foundation, come on board. We work very well with the Heritage Foundation. We're working very well with the Friends of JAG. The notion that Eben, Vusil and them are fighting, we don't know it. Maybe it's the old fights we don't know of. With this administration of the executive mayor, is very clear. Work with everyone, make sure that everyone is on board and we bring them along. So that is why even the purpose of today is to make sure that the fourth estate of the country knows what are we up to and where we're going to. That's why the JAG Reimagine seminar is a good opportunity for everyone to come in, contribute to the discussion documents. How do we monetize the collection, but at the same time, don't lose the value of loaning the art, because loaning the art is part of a national and universal standard in terms of the art industry to loan art. I first, for example, I studied law EM and I was questioning, why must we loan this art? It's our art. Why don't we commercialize it? Up until you read documents and they say, no, but it's a universal standard. It's something that is done. So how do we balance the two of revenue generation versus also meeting the necessary universal standards, and we still have a footprint out there? I'm sure if we had not borrowed the collection to Korea, we would have not had the awareness that President Macron knows about today, would have not had the amount of media queries and questions that have been sent on the project. So we will be giving you more updates in terms of what we're going to be doing through the mayor's office, and the mayor's mandated us to make sure that this works. And if we do fix, it's not about just the JAG alone, it's that entire precinct. We have to clean up that precinct, and that precinct must be fixed. And it has to be fixed by both yourselves as the members of the media by assisting us to raise those stories and questions, but also ourselves as officials of government. Thank you.
Thank you, CEO. Alex, are we happy? Can I close the question and answer? I know. Thank you. Yeah, so the CEO is going to lead a walkabout. Thank you so much for coming to the briefing. Thank you.
Thank you.